Hey everybody, how's it going? Daryl here, welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about the Hoerboard Stereo T DJ booth. I want to do a little bit of unboxing, share some first impressions, and tell you a little bit about why I decided to buy this booth. So if you've been looking at DJ furniture, chances are that you've heard of the Hoerboard Stereo T. I was calling it Hoerboard before, but a German viewer told me it's pronounced like Hoerboard. And it is one of like the earliest models that kind of set the trend for all this DJ furniture mania. And while they look really nice, there's been a lot of new booths that have come out that are like more portable, have more functionality, and even, you could argue, are more practical. But I was at a bridal fair earlier this year and I saw the Hoerboard Stereo T from another DJ company in person, and I thought it looked really nice. It looked really sleek, and I really liked the craftsmanship because it does embody like that modern minimalist aesthetic, but with like those wood edges. It also has like that rustic classic charm. And I've been very curious about that too, because I've been seeing a lot of DJs opt for the Hoerboard Stereo T, even though there are more practical options. And if you're interested in getting one, I'll have a link in the description below. And so when you decide to buy a Hoerboard Stereo T, you go to their website, you choose the color you want. So I decided to get one in white because I thought it would maybe be fun to do an all white setup. And the bonus on top is, being a tall dude, being like 6'5", I asked if they could custom make the pedestal to be 10 centimeters taller, and they could. That's about 4 inches, so that was very exciting. And you choose your mixer configuration, and in my case, I wanted a Rain 1272 combo, and I wanted to be able to have my DMX controller in there, my Sound Switch Control 1. Because what drives me crazy is when I see people with the Hoerboard Stereo T, and they have to set up like a facade behind them for all their audio and lighting gear. I just feel like that's bringing 2 setups, and that's just a huge footprint. And a bigger footprint kind of takes away from that minimalist aesthetic that you're trying to achieve with the Hoerboard Stereo T. But you know, that's just my thoughts. No shade to anybody that does that. Just, this is not something that I wanted to do. And each one is custom made just for you, and they are shipped from Germany over here to the States. So I knew the best way to transport this thing was fully assembled. And so last year I had previously tried to have my trailer to all my gigs, and I could just have like my Bun Gear Command Center fully assembled, but that workflow just did not pan out. Not all venues in Utah are trailer friendly, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted to buy a cargo van just to transport this booth either. And I've seen a few people like have a workflow where they take it apart and transport it, but it is pretty heavy and awkwardly shaped. It's kind of big. And then once you like load it full of your DJ gear, it's just not very manageable. And it doesn't come with any sort of soft shell case or hard shell case to use during transport. And so when I had originally ordered this thing, I was starting to panic because it seemed like the only way to transport this was in the back of my trailer. And I wanted to be able to use my SUV for a lot of gigs, so I was thinking I'd have to maybe get a second booth. So FedEx lost the DJ booth, and that added quite a bit of delays, about a couple months or more. But instead of getting a refund, I just thought, you know, I'll get this thing. You know, I've thought it was cool for a while, and I thought it'd be cool to have one, even if I don't use it at every gig, even if it just sits in my basement or music studio. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to the unboxing. All right, so this thing arrives in 2 boxes. So the first box includes this acrylic laptop stand. It's actually pretty hefty, so I think this is gonna be able to handle the duress of gigs. All right, this is the entire booth. It's made of wood. All right, here's the inner box. Let's go ahead and open this. This is very nicely packaged. It has like this wood on the outside. Wow, it looks really cool. This is really clean. Wow. It's my custom top plate. A QR code with full instructions on how to set this up. But I feel like I've watched this so many times, so I already know. All right, one of the pieces. All right, the base plate. A part of the pillar, another part of the pillar. I like that. The Hoerboard logo is totally optional, so they don't install it right off the bat. And all of my hardware, including a tool, packaged so nicely. Even this part is pretty heavy. Holy cow. But yeah, it's really nice because it has all of these slits, which I'm a fan of. It has all these pegs installed, almost like a piece of IKEA furniture. Yeah, it's just incredible how intuitive this is and how nicely it just fits together. Holy cow. Is this how normal people feel like? I asked for mine to be 10 centimeters taller than the normal one, and so I'm 6'4". I think this is awesome. I love this already. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Wow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the assembly. I do have to screw it in. Before I just kind of positioned it with all the pegs. This is not a full assembly tutorial. I mean, Hoerboard has one and it's also really good, so just watch that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it and put in all of my gear before I share a few more thoughts on this thing. I chose a pretty big DJ system. You know, I have the Rane 7212 combo that takes up a lot of space. And I think that these new Hoerboard Stereo Ts are a little bit wider. So I was surprised that I could fit in my Control 1 in here, which, you know, I'm super excited about because I can just have all of my DMX controls pre-wired. And it's nice, I have an interface to control my lights handy right in front of me, so really excited about that. I'm just gonna pop the lid and show you what I have underneath. So I have my Control 1 right here that's propped up on the foam that came with this. I don't have a better workflow yet, so I'll probably do something a little more elegant in the future. And I just have like my DMX dongle right here. I haven't really had any issues with this antenna not sticking out, so I'm just gonna keep it like this for now. I do have a wireless microphone pre-wired here into my DJ mixer, and this is just a simple Shure handheld. It works pretty good. Sometimes I have like the little antenna sticking out, sometimes I don't. And here is my MacBook Pro charger, because you can see all of these cables pre-wired in here. But yeah, I could not fit a power supply in here, so I actually had to put my power supply in the actual podium and run it down like that. I have all those cables gaffed on so they don't really come off and unplugged unintentionally. And I just have like one cable coming out here for power and a couple of XLRs for left and right. This is actually pretty big, and I thought about if I need an external mixer and I'm really worried about the aesthetic, I could just attach one onto here with like Velcro or tape. That's kind of weird and awkward. Maybe a facade would look better than that, but I don't think so. I think that the client-facing experience is more important than anything. So there's no official case for the Hoerboard Stereo T, and since the size has changed and I got a custom height, I haven't ordered one yet because I wanted to get the measurements just right. I'm not quite sure I'm going to invest in one because it's anywhere from like $800 to $1,400 just for a case. And I just don't know how often I'm going to be taking this thing out. This thing may just sit in like my music studio. And so I wanted to use this at my last gig, partially for the preparation of this video. And I just used a Walmart furniture dolly and some Harbor Freight moving blankets to safely transport this to my gig. And you know, I'm a pretty big guy, so I don't recommend everybody try to lift this up by themselves. I've seen most DJs that have this system, like have two people. But for me, it's like, I don't want to have to use an assistant as like a requirement. I want an assistant to always be a nice to have. And I've seen some people have like some small casters on the bottom so you don't have to like lift it and put it inside of a case or lift it and put it on top of a dolly. But you know, I really like the look of the Stereo T being on the ground. I don't like the little gap that you'll see with casters. So this is my trailer. This is the DJ booth on top of the dolly. And just note that since this one's a little bit taller, it doesn't fit very nicely within this door opening. But also note that I have to take off the laptop stand to fit through that threshold. Another thing I want to address is that this is not sitting perfectly flush. I think it has to do with this Rane 72. It has these two little crossbars right here, and it seems to be sitting on top of it. So I'll need to make an adjustment so that this goes all the way down. Still looks pretty flush, and I'm pretty happy with it as is though. So it has all of these holes so that you can run wires up here to your laptop. You can also stick antennas out for wireless devices. Another thing I want to highlight is that this thing is rock solid. It really doesn't wobble, which I think is really important for a lot of performers, especially with it being so top heavy and having such heavy equipment in it. It's rock solid. This thing does not wobble compared to other DJ booths. Yeah, this thing is great in that regard. Last thing is I just have to say is I really like this laptop stand. I think it's probably one of the most elegant ones. I think it makes your laptop just look like it's floating. But yeah, I think that the Hoerboard Stereo T is a fine piece of DJ furniture. As far as like aesthetic and looks, I really like it. I think it's probably one of the sleekest most nice looking DJ booths out there. I don't think it's the most practical. I think that maybe it's beautiful enough to change your workflow to accommodate it, like maybe investing in a cargo van. But are you going to be more profitable having the Hoerboard over like one of the other more portable options like the Max, the Pro X, the Bunker Command Center, the Humpter? I don't think so. I think you can have a really nice DJ setup with any of those options, but I guess it's just really personal preference. So leave your comments, questions, and concerns down below, and please smash like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.